Look, watch this, guys. I can ride a dragon. Shut up. No one asked. I want to know how much damage Assassination Rogue does on 7 targets. Well, I might not be able to give you that much information, but we are going to be reviewing every single melee DPS spec for Mythic Plus on Dragonflight. Hello guys, how's it going? Welcome to the 4th episode of my melee DPS of the best DPS series, where we are reviewing every single melee DPS spec on the Dragonflight beta for Mythic Plus. We will be going through the 3 biggest wins, the 3 biggest losses for each spec, and then coming up with a rating. And then at the end of the series, we will be reviewing all of the specs and the changes, anything that's happened between when I made the videos and when we do the final review, and then we'll be coming up with a tier list based on each of the individual reviews. I'm usually spending at least 3 or 4 hours on each of the specs, playing the rotations, getting a feel for it, delving into the talent trees, so there's quite a lot of effort that goes into it, and I've multi-classed for a long time, so other than a couple of classes, I'm pretty good, and I know what I'm talking about, and where I don't know, I'm pulling in other resources, so guildies or my brothers and stuff, they also play WoW, so I get help from other people where needed. Most of this information should be pretty spot on. So yeah, today we are reviewing Survival Hunter, so I was very excited to get into this as I've been playing it and messing about with the talent trees. Honestly, this is a huge fall from grace for Survival. Currently on live, they are almost assuredly the best DPS spec on live currently. And the changes are only removing things from their kit, which I really don't like. That's not true. They are gaining some stuff, and we'll get onto that in the big wins and big losses, but I'm not keen on it at all, to be honest. This is the first time that I've actually jumped into a tree and been like, this just feels worse than live. So everything else that we've done, the first 3 episodes, I was of very different opinions. I was super hyped about all the changes. Felt like we were getting good choice, and the changes were impactful, and I really, really liked it. This feels like the opposite. So we'll get onto that in a second as to why that's the case. Just before we start, we're only level 60. You can only make level 60 characters currently on the beta. So unfortunately, we don't have the full trees. We're missing 5 points on each side. Just before we start, let's hop onto Wowhead. The 5 additional points that we will be placing, they will be 2 points into Explosive Expert, so this is reducing the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb. I think we'll be putting 1 point into Fury of the Eagle, which is coming back from Legion. This is the Legion artifact weapon ability, and then we'll be putting 2 points into Ruthless Marauder, which is interacting with Fury of the Eagle. So those will be the 5 points in the survival tree. In terms of the Hunter tree, I think that we'll be putting a point into Explosive Shot. This actually does quite a lot of damage, so it's a good little node. I then think we have to put 2 points into Keen Eyesight, which is just a passive crit chance increase to be able to get Death Chakram, which is your Necrolord ability, Covenant ability. So that is 4 points, and then the final point I honestly think we'll be putting into Serrated Shots. You could potentially be putting it into Nessingwary's Trapping Apparatus, but there's no real way of proccing this on bosses, so I don't think that you want to take that for Mythic Plus ever. Yeah, you just come over and take this passive bleed damage increase on Serpent Sting. Sorry, bleed damage increase and Serpent Sting damage increase. So those are where the additional 5 points would be on each tree. Let's get started. Let's just jump into it. 3 biggest wins then. So the first biggest win is that they are baking in the Venthia legendary, the Unity legendary, I think, into Coordinated Assault. So Coordinated Assault is completely changing now. On live, it's currently a flat 20% damage increase. Now it is a 20% damage increase on just the initial damage of Wildfire Bombs. Bear that in mind, because it's not a 20% damage increase of bombs overall. You then also get a 50% damage increase on kill shot through a 6-second bleed. You then have a buff to it, which means that the cooldown of Wildfire Bombs is reduced by 50%. You also get focus regen, which we actually don't care about at all on Wildfire Bombs. That's pretty much useless. And you also get the cooldown on kill shot, and it means that kill shot can be used on any HP target. Yeah. And then the final thing is the Birds of Prey, which means that kill shot strikes up to 3 additional targets. So that means for each kill shot, you're going to be hitting 4 targets, while you have coordinated assault active. You could take Bombardier, which resets the cooldown of wildfire bombs as coordinated assault is pressed, and then as it finishes. But even on mass AoE, that is absolutely useless in my mind. That means you're just getting 2 free bombs on a pack. Maybe what, like 2-3k per extra target. The kill shot cleaving on up to 4 dark, it's just always going to be useful in Mythic Plus. I don't think you would ever take that node, so I think that needs changing, to be honest. I think it should be an option to go for either like 4 target cleave or drop into to wildfire here. But those changes are interesting. That's a big change for coordinated. So like I said, it's just a baseline like 20% damage increase. So it's an interesting way of taking the direction of that spell. So that's the first biggest win. There's a bit more depth added in here, and some interesting interactions added into coordinated assault. The next win is Fury of the Eagle. The fact that it's returning, the fact that it's now getting some more depth and grit again, so that it's a bit of an execute, an AoE execute. You get kill command reducing the cooldown, so you want to be pressing kill commands to reduce the cooldown of Fury of the Eagle, I think is interesting. And also when you press it, it's reducing the cooldown on bombs. So you'll like deplete your charges of bombs, press Fury of the Eagle, and then go back to kill commanding, carving, and bombing, and then Fury of the Eagle will be coming off cooldown quicker. And when you press it, you're getting more charges of bombs back. So I imagine you want bombs completely depleted, press carve, press Fury, press carve, press bomb, press kill command or something like that. It'll be pretty fixed though. I don't think there's gonna be much change. It just, like I said, it adds that depth and grit into the rotation, which I like and I think is kind of interesting. The final win the Survival is getting is this single node over here. Hydra's Bite, Serpent Sting fires arrows at 2 additional enemies near your target, and its damage over time is increased by 20%. So we're getting additional Serpent Sting damage, and it's going to cleave, which I like. It's just cool. Let's just show you quickly. So that's just fired 3 there. Was it fired 4? Yeah, it's fired 3 times. So each press of Serpent Sting is going to be doing significantly more damage now, and is cleaving. I like it. It's going to go up higher up in the priority list in terms of AoE, and it just increases the overall AoE damage of Survival. So that's a cool little change. I like that a lot. In terms of losses then, I honestly feel like the spec has just been gutted. So the first part of this is that your forset has been completely removed. There is no way that you can get anywhere close to forset. So forset at the minute, for people that don't know, it adds an interaction between kill command and bombs. So every single time kill command resets, then you get additional bomb damage. It's like 80% additional bomb damage as well. It's a lot. And then because of the way that Wildfire Infusion works, and your Pheromone Bomb, which you keep up most of the time, means that kill command has a 100% chance to reset. So you'll basically carve, you're basically like bombing and kill commanding is how it works in your rotation. Your rotation is completely different now. It's just like, it means that like outside of CDs as well, you still have incredible damage. Like you're not that CD reliant. You have this mass AoE damage that has been completely removed, and the only this is slightly uncapped AoE damage. Fury of the Eagle, it's obviously reduced beyond 5 targets, and then Coordinated Assault is really going to be like peak damage on like 4 targets. Beyond 4 targets is still going to help because you're getting cooldown reduction on bombs, and you're getting a little bit of increase on the initial damage, but not the dot damage from bombs. So there's a slight increase in damage here, but it's not, honestly, it completely pales in comparison to the AoE damage on live currently, and it's not like it's getting that much more interesting. I mean, if just Flanking Strike was here, sorry, Fury of the Eagle was here, and then Coordinated Assault was getting changed to like have the forset baked into it rather than the Venthia side, this would be very, very different. I would feel much different about this, but because so much damage and so much uncapped AoE is being removed from the spec in this current iteration of the tree, I really don't like it. Like, this is a huge, huge loss. This is the biggest loss that I've seen from any spec so far, and it's a massive loss. So it's a huge, huge fall from grace, the spec. The next then, which again is just, this is massive. This is a huge loss again. you're getting significantly less tanky. At the moment on live, there's a conduit that means every single time you press feign death that you're getting reduced damage. And then you're getting reduced damage from a target that you've hunters marked, right? So overall, you're getting roughly like a 20% DR that you can use on demand, well, every 30 seconds. So on bosses, you're incredibly tanky. You're stacking versatility, so you're already pretty tanky. In terms of what you're getting back from the hunter tree, right? You're getting survival of the fittest now, so you don't have to run a tenacity pet. That's only a 2.5 minute cooldown though, right? That's not good, really. 2.5 minute, 40% CD. You know, Shaman's is 1.5 minute. You still have Turtle on a 2.5 minute cooldown, right? You have Exile, but Exile like doesn't really, it's not effective. It's like a Crimson Vial sort of effect, you know, it's just a heal. Like, you're not getting enough out of these two baseline. And then, to be honest with you, you do get, if you take a Tenacity pet, you get another 20% HP increase on a 2-min, so you are gaining that. But because you're losing these 30-second and like permanent DRs, it's just nothing in comparison. You get this 6% damage reduction here. So on live, it's about 21%, I think, is the DR that you can get on a boss. Now it's 6%, so you're losing 15% natural DR there. That is huge. Like a baseline change of 15% is just massive. It can't be ignored. I don't understand why the hunter tree and why hunters are becoming so squishy. Like, they are noticeably squishier than they are on live currently, which is the exact opposite to what you want. Like, you're going into a new expansion, you only really want to gain, like, if survival just stayed exactly the same as it is now, it's probably going to stay competitive in Mythic Plus. It brings decent utility with misdirection. Pet taunting as well is kind of interesting that you can bring. You bring a lust, right? Well, now you're going to have to go to Tenacity pet. You're going to have to dismiss pets after you press lust. It's going to feel awkward because you need that 20% HP increase. You're probably not going to be able to cover anywhere near as much damage as you could before with feign death. It's just, it's awful. I don't like it at all. And to see such a huge amount of your defensive utility being removed, like even Hunter's Mark, right, was sort of interesting. Say you're running up to a pack, right, and you're like, okay, I'm just starting my AoE rotation. Well, the one of the mobs in there might be a caster that's going to randomly shoot you with abilities, or maybe it's one of these mobs that does just like randomly shoot. You know, it's got a gun and just randomly shoots. All right, so I'm going to pop my Hunter's Mark on that mob because I know it's going to help the healer. That agency's just gone. Instead, you just get this flat Hunter's Agility point. Like, why? Why make these changes? Why are you physically like removing stuff from the spec? I don't understand. This is the first time that I felt like this. All other changes that we've been through so far, so if you want to go back and watch the other episodes, you can, but honestly, everything feels like it's either gaining or is baseline the same. Nothing's really changing. Some points, so Ret, I took a point off that tree because you couldn't take some of your utility very easily. You had to lose movement, so that got a point deducted there. But otherwise, most things, like, it's either gaining utility that you can then chop and change between, which is absolutely fine on a dungeon by dungeon basis. You're going to know that, say, you want a dispel or something, so you can go and take it, right? Nothing has had stuff removed so far in such an awful way that the spec's going to feel significantly worse. And this is just a huge part of it. It really is. Yeah, I just don't like it. And then the final thing is, which is still pretty big, I gave a big win for coordinated assault. In fact, they're making it more interesting than just a 20% damage increase. The way that this works currently, let's just show you, in fact. So it says here, you and your pet's bond is strengthened for 20 seconds, causing your pet's basic attack to empower your next spellcast. So let's just show you. Serpent Stinger, press cooldowns. That's bomb on cooldown, carve. I've just got a bomb empowerment there. Kill shot. Carve again. Bomb. Kill shot. Bomb's just come off and got empowered. Alright. Like, you can, I don't know if you could notice there, but I mean, kill shot's doing a lot of damage. It's doing a huge amount of our damage now. There's also this dot coming out, but I don't know if you could tell. Sometimes we had both bomb and kill shot on CD, right? So we had both of these on cooldown, which then meant that our pet's basic attacks were just munching this this damage increase. I think you're going to have a weak aura that's like tracking when your pet's auto-attacking to then be able to know that you're going to have to hold like for half a second of a GCD to be able to get your bomb impulse. Honestly, why is that even a thing? It's so clunky. Like, it's awful to play with. I noticed at least 2 or 3 times in that rotation that I think I was munching those empowerments and the first couple of casts because the pet was like taking a while to auto attack at the start. So like my first kill shot, I'm shrapnel bomb, I don't even think we're empowered. Like, why is that a thing? Why do we have to wait for these empowerments from the pet's auto attack? Like, it's really, really clunky. Just change that, Blizzard. Just change it. Honestly, that's it's horrible. Horrible design. It has no place in the game that you have to try and watch your pet's auto attacks to get empowerments on abilities. That just feels really, really bad. Like, why is that a thing? Notable mentions then. So those were the 3 biggest wins and 3 biggest losses. In fact, let's just do a quick recap before we go into notable mentions. In fact, no, we'll do notable mentions, then we'll do a recap of wins and losses before we do the rating. So notable mentions, Sentinel is really cool ability. It's a bit like the Kirin ability. It's not yet implemented, so I can't show you it, but I imagine it's going to look like the Kirin ability, and basically it means that you can ignore line of sight in that area. Awesome, really like that. You can then also provide it to party members. Sick. For PvP, that's going to be insane. Mythic Plus, I don't think it's going to really make a difference, but kind of cool that you might be able to line of sight some abilities and let your party wide shoot through line of sight. But you also get the Sentinel's Wisdom. While the Sentinel Owl is active, your party takes 10% reduced nature damage. Interesting. I don't know if there's any nature damage in Mythic Plus, but a 10% wide DR. Cool that you're getting that as a niche bit of a utility. And the Sentinel Owl removes 1 poison and 1 disease effect from a party member every 1 second. Awesome. Great little bit of utility. It's not that powerful, but say for like last boss in Plaguefall in the current Shadowlands, previous Shadowlands dungeon pool, right? Last boss of Plaguefall, this would have just carried a group, so that means that you always would have wanted a hunter in your group. Great, I love it. It's a nice little bit of niche utility. It's not massively overpowered, but it's really cool. Definitely like that. In terms of other things, you're getting like a bit more execute damage now through like Fury of the Eagle, so that's kind of interesting. You're going to become a bit more like an execute build, I think. I kind of like that's a shift in terms of survival. I mean, you sort of have that at the minute, but then you're getting Fury of the Eagle. It's a little noticeable win. Overall, though, I think I'm going to have to give this a 4 out of 10. Honestly, the wins that you're getting are kind of nice, but the losses are huge. So let's just say everything starts at 6 points out of 10, right? You're not 5, you're not bang average, but baseline tree, if everything just stays exactly the same as live, but you're getting a bit more option and utility than live currently, okay, we're going with a 6 out of 10 if not much changes. I'm going to have to remove 2 points because of the defensive loss, right? They're huge, huge losses. I'm not talking about like, this is a 20% flat damage reduction, a 15%, sorry, flat damage reduction that you're essentially going to be seeing on hunters. That's a significantly squishier class right there. You're going to be losing almost all of your uncapped AoE damage in favor for this kill shot 4 target sort of increase. You get a bit of extra damage coming through from Fury of the Eagle, but not enough in my mind. Nowhere near enough of compensation. So for Mythic Plus, you're shifting from uncapped AoE towards more 4 target, a significant loss again. I'm removing 2 points for that. That means that you're down. The class is down to a 2 out of 10. I'm going to be favourable and say that the changes through Serpent Sting and Fury of the Eagle are both a win each. So that's a 1 point increase. That brings us back up to 4 out of 10. And I'm going to say that Coordinated Assault changes effectively are a net 0 at the minute because I like the fact that it's not becoming just a 20% damage increase. There's a bit of niche gameplay here, a bit of depth added into the rotation, but because it's so clunky and feels awful, like I'm just cringing thinking about the mulching of Killshot and Shrapnel Bomb procs there, that It's a net 0. I'm being pretty favourable there. That could have been a -1. And the fact that I'm even giving it a point for servicing, I'm being very favourable and giving this a 4 out of 10. You might think I'm being harsh, but this is the first time where I've physically been through the trees, felt like the class, or the spec is losing damage and defensive utility, and then it's also not going to feel as good to play, right? Like, this is awful. This needs a complete and utter overhaul. I was waiting to bring this video out. It was actually going to be one of my first couple, but I was waiting to bring the video because I was hoping that it might get changed. There's no changes in sight. I don't understand how this class is going forwards in the way that it is. Blizzard needs some serious rethinking to this tree. Just to give you an idea, right, for how bad this tree is, I'm just going through Outlaw currently, so Rogues might be up next, or maybe Demon. I'm not sure, but they're coming up soon, right? I did a quick check. Survival has 51 total points that you could put into the tree, so obviously we can only put 30 points in, but there are 51 possible points that we can put into the tree, okay, yeah. And for Outlaw, you can possibly put in 49 points. Again, you can only put 30 into the Outlaw tree, obviously, but there are a possibility of 49 points that you can put in. Survival has 51, yeah. So they're very, very close, incredibly close there. In terms of the actual nodes, so how much choice you have, though, Survival has 36 possible nodes, okay? Whereas Outlaw has 43 possible nodes. So that is about a 25% increase in the number of choices that you get with fewer possible points to put in. So somehow Survival has more points that you could put into the tree, yet significantly less choice where you can put them. That just shows that this tree is bare bones. A lot of this is just like passive damage anyway. The new stuff that you're getting feels clunky. It's nothing. It really does pale in comparison, and hopefully that puts it into context for you as to how bad this tree really is in comparison to some of the other ones that I've started reviewing and have been reviewing. It needs changing. It needs changing, Blizzard. This spec is going to be awful in comparison to how it plays on live currently. It just is. But this is only for Mythic Plus. I think there's some changes to single target that might be kind of cool. I have no idea how it plays in Raid. I've never played Survival in Raid, so I'm not going to comment on it though. But this is purely for Mythic Plus. This spec is getting gutted. It's absolutely gutted. In terms of the gameplay review then, let's have a quick little look at the Coordinated Assault gameplay again. We'll show you Fury of the Eagle. Flanking Strike is the same as live. We'll show you that. There's not too much else. Obviously, all the other points, they're just little passives, like the little passive things. Do you know what I mean? Like this would be great to take if you could take lunge, but you don't have the points because it's just loss of damage. You know, you can't possibly miss guerrilla tactics. So, maybe you drop Aspect of the Eagle. Can you even do that? Actually, is that in the? I think that might be in the 8.0. I'm not even sure if you can, but like there's some stuff that you could take, but it's not really that interesting. But yeah, basically, I mean, even look at this. This is just a passive. Capstones of just passive damage increases. Capstones of just passive cooldown decreases. Capstones of just shooting off an arcane shot. Like, why? Why? This is awful. Sorry, I'm getting distracted from the gameplay section. Let's show you Coordinated Assault again. Let's show you Fury of the Eagle. Let's show you Explosive Shock because we'll be taking that. Let's show you Death Chakram. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's all we really can show you that's different, to be honest. So let's do this a bit slower. Let's get Serpent Sting up. Coordinated Assault. Watch on the next. That's just been empowered. Right, so that's done 20% extra damage up front. Gets empowered again on attack. Let's watch this again. Next, Bleeding Gash has come out from Killshot here. Sorry, no, it wasn't. It's the way outside of cooldowns. So it's supposed to do another dot. It's this one here. It's this Master Marksman dot for sure. That it's doing. So your pet, when it attacks, right, gives an empowerment to either bomb or your kill shot. That's basically it. Otherwise, Coordinated Assault is just the cooldown reduction on bombs and cooldown reduction on kill shot, and the fact that you can actually use kill shot at higher HP. So that's those done. Let's just show you the Serpent Sting again. So Serpent Sting just hits 3 targets now. Sick. Really like that. Let's show you Explosive Shot, and let's do Death Chakram as well. Apply those changes. Yeah, that's fine. So Death Chakram, same as live, it bounces between targets. It actually does quite a lot of damage for like a single button press. 4.7k. You also get the damage increases the main part of it, so it's a little bit of damage on up to 7 targets, and then you're getting the damage increase, which is really nice. It's a little burst window. Do you know what I mean? That adds a bit of depth into your rotation again. It's more interesting, I would say, than the Kyrian, which is just like the flat crit chance and everything, like damage increase. This is like a little burst window damage increase, so I like it. It's on a 45-second cooldown. Cool. Explosive Shot. One thing to note, you can't take barrage because you don't have a ranged weapon, so it's always going to be Explosive Shot. You shoot off an explosive and then it explodes shortly afterwards. Again, it does like a lot of damage for a single button press, so 20k there. I think I got quite lucky on crits. 2 crits. Probably should have only had like 1. 20k for a single button press is actually decent in terms of throughput. It is a good ability. Let's do Fury of the Eagle here. And this will be the last thing that we show you in terms of gameplay of like new abilities. Like I said, this is coming back from Legion. This was your old Legion ability. So watch it, I'm going to press it now. It reminds me a bit of Fist of Fury. You're just like shooting your spears out. You get cooldown reduction whenever kill command resets. If it's going to happen. So yeah, you're getting cooldown reduction whenever it resets there. So it's a nice, neat little interaction between kill command and Fury of the Eagle. So kill command will go up the tree, up the priority list in terms of AoE. Yeah, and then Fury of the Eagle now gains bonus critical strike chance against targets below 110% HP. Okay, that's weird. So it's just bonus crit strike all the time. And the critical strikes reduce the cooldown of wildfire bombs. So let's just show you quickly. Let's just smash both of these bombs, and then can you see it's reducing the cooldown here. So you'll want to have 0 stacks and no cooldown of that going into the Fury of the Eagle window. Yeah. Cool, interesting little ability. I'm glad that it's come back, but it's nowhere near enough compensation for where you are on live currently. If you only just tuned in and you want to just jump to the end and see what the spec is like, my rating for this is a 4 out of 10. I gave a lot of justification for why, but essentially you are losing out on uncapped AoE in place of a clunky version of your Ventia legendary that is capped at 4 targets. You're gaining a little bit in terms of Fury of the Eagle, but then you're also significantly losing tankiness. Like, survival is going to be a very squishy class now. It's just getting gutted. Honestly, this spec has been gutted in its current form. Blizzard needs to completely rethink the tree. I was going to try and wait until it gets changed, but I don't have enough time really to wait because the beta is going to end in the next 3 weeks. We're getting, well, it's not going to end, sorry, but pre-patch is coming, so all these changes are going to go live. I don't even know if they planned on changing this, but I think they have to. I really do. It's just awful in comparison to how it is on live currently, so really don't like it. Just don't like the changes at all for Mythic Plus. It's not good. Anyway, this one's been a bit more depressing than the others. Usually I'm a bit more upbeat and excited about these changes. The first 3 I was super excited for. Came out of survival, and yeah, I can't say much more than what I've said. It's not good at all. I really don't like it. I just don't like it. 4 out of 10. If you have enjoyed this and you think that the analysis has been at least valuable, even though I'm a bit more doom and gloom in this episode, drop me a thumbs up and subscribe. That'd be awesome. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.